We have just 3 games left of the season to play. As you can see, we're currently sat second place in the table, 2 points behind Copenhagen, but we do still have to play Copenhagen. In fact, we have to play them twice. You see, we finished the season at home against FC Copenhagen in the league, but also we play them a couple of days before at the, I assume, the National Stadium of Denmark in the cup final as well. In between episodes, I think we finished at the Brøndby game. We've obviously played a couple of matches against OB, winning both of them 2-0 and 4-2. We beat AGF in the league and Viborg also in the league. Barisic has started to kind of get back in the goals again. He had sort of a bit of a dry patch not too long ago, but since April he has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 goals in however many games. In some games, 8 games maybe, I don't know. So I don't know how many matches are actually going to be in this episode, so we're just going to kick off with the Randers game. This might actually be 2 episodes, who knows. It's going to be Pitts in goal, Mossen, Rubio, Jr. and Tan in defence, Meyer, Larsen and Tanino in midfield, Meyer, Gelabert and Barisic will be our striking options for this one. Like I said, Barisic is on form, so I'm hoping he carries that on. Now, good news for us, as you can see, Randers have lost 4 of their last 5. Although the way Football Manager works, that probably means they're going to win their next one, and we've won 5 out of our last 5. So, we're going to get FM'd. We're going to get FM'd. I'm predicting it now. You probably spotted as well, and I didn't mention it, we have qualified for Europe next season. Winning the league will get us into the Champions League qualifiers. Finishing second will get us into the Europa League qualifiers. We need to really be winning the league because Champions League is where the money is. And that's, I think, probably one of our biggest hindrances at the moment. We just don't have the cash to compete consistently with Copenhagen. We are 15 minutes in. It's Rubio with the ball across to Tan. Forward to Gelabert. Back to Erkan Tan. Where's he going to go? Back to Junior and Duca. Across, Rubio, Meyer, ball forward to Mossen. Now the other Meyer loses out though. And now Randers can possibly come forward with the ball. Still inside their own half at the moment. Diamante's ball forward to Vollersen. He's being forced out wide slightly. Still gets his shot away. Goes over the bar. First chance goes Randers' way, but it is over. And we are seeing the goal kick. Mossen with it. 2 in front. Maybe a third if he wants to go across to the left a little bit. Or back to Junior and Duca. Sure. I'm not sure what really is going to happen from this highlight at the moment. It could go either way. Tan controls it. Tanino to Gelabert. Ball forward. Barisic controls it well. And Barisic tucks the ball away. I don't know whether this is going to count. We're getting VAR. And VAR is on our side. It is 1-0. Bartold Barisic, his 22nd goal of the season as well. He continues his hot streak of scoring. And what a time to start scoring a hot streak of goals. I don't know whether that's terminology or not, but that's what we're going with. Erkan Tan's corner comes in, Rubio's there, he's hit the bar, and Barisic is there at the back post to tuck that one away. He's not offside. He's physically impossible to be offside. We're getting more VAR. It's surely 2. How was he offside? He was barely on the pitch. Maybe that's how he was offside. So, it's, I assume, from Rubio's header. That's questionable, isn't it? I mean, I guess he is offside. That's how the rules work. To corner for Randers instead. Pitts comes out, holds on. What are we going to do then with Pitts? Who, by the way, I'll tell you now, isn't going to be our number 1 goalkeeper next season because we brought somebody in who's going to be very, very good. But Pitts is hopefully going to still be there or thereabouts. Maybe sitting on the bench a lot. Randers coming forward down their right-hand side. Still only 21 minutes in. It's a clearance from Rubio to Larsen. He's lost out. And Randers collect the ball once again. Back to Graves. Berg Johnson. And now on, it's Stulic is his name. He's lost out to Oscar Meyer. Gelabert just stands still and waits to get tackled. That's not what you want to see. I've just seen their right back has a massive mohawk as well. That's distracted me. It's 1-1. I'm going to blame the mohawk. That's not how Football Manager works, but that's what I'm going with. I'm actually going to blame Gelabert because he just kind of stood there with the ball. He was in the prime position to do something with it and he just did nothing and lost the ball. Gelabert with a free kick. It's towards Junior and Duca, easily saved by Gurkan Kalman. What's going to happen then? Still plenty of time in the first half to play. Larsen's lost the ball. It's going to be 2-1. It is not 2-1. He's hit it wide. We've got very lucky. Randers are having the lion's share of the shots. We're having more possession. I don't know what to read into that. Corner cross comes in. Sorry, it's cleared. Berg Johnson collects it. Down the line, it's header forward, unchallenged header. Why did you do that? Why didn't you just try and control it? Why didn't you take your time? Any of those options would have been better. But no, you've just headed it straight to one of their shirts. It is Milic, ball forward. Volleson controls it well. Pitts can hold on to that one. Stays 1-1 at the moment. I don't know who Copenhagen are playing. Probably should try and find this one out. Gellerbeer with a free kick. It's a long-range effort. I think that hit the bar or post. Rubio back to Larsen. The highlight does end. At the moment, Copenhagen 2 points clear ahead of us in the table. So it says to me they are currently drawing or not playing. No, they must be playing, and it must be a draw. And it's a draw here, obviously, at half-time as well. 1-1. We're not doing very well. We're in position we deserve. Show me something better in the second half. That worked. We've done a good team talk, everybody. No changes for us at half-time. I was looking at Mateo Meyer, possibly thinking about bringing him off because he's not doing very well. But I think part of that is we're not really going down our right-hand side at the moment until, obviously, he gets the ball straight away, kicks it straight through Randa's shirt. What is going on? Meyer needs to come off. He's not really a winger. I've kind of repurposed him as we've changed our formation. That was weird. To a right winger. And he's more of a striker. But Barisic is a much better striker than Meyer is. It's a mess. And Copenhagen have taken the lead as well. We might be completely out of this by the time we get to the final game of the season. Which is not what we want, really, is it? Gellerbeer with a free kick. Well outside the area. And Cesar Gellerbeer makes it 2-1. Keeping us in this fight. All we need to do is equal Copenhagen's results to take it to the final game of the season. And that goal there means that we are currently equaling their results. We are going to do a change as well. Pete is going to be the man to come on the right-hand side. Meyer is coming off. I think we're only going to do that at the moment. Rubio and Nduka are looking tired, but they're playing very well. So I don't want to bring them off. In the second half, it looks like match stats-wise, we've kind of come back into this game getting a lot of shots away. Not necessarily good shots by the looks of it, because we're not seeing too many highlights, but we are getting our shots away. We do need to do some changes, and I'm thinking we're doing that. It's a risk. Ollie Semmers coming on for Rubio. What else do we want to do here? Mads Larsson coming off for Milos Markovic, who I still don't know what position Markovic should be playing. I'm still leaning towards a striker, but he never seems to play there. And Duca's at the bar. Could have been 3-1. It's not. Ball is cleared. Wolf collects it. Ollie Semmers there, making a nuisance of himself just as he comes onto the pitch. It stays 2-1. We are probably getting close to maybe getting a third. I think it's more likely we get a third than they get an equaliser. And I realise, now I've said that out loud, it's probably going to finish 2-2. Eriksson with the ball. Torre. We've got 5 minutes of injury time to play. Prip plays it on the ground. Balkan Nordli crosses in. Ollie Semmer clears. That's good from the defender. Pete gets there as well ahead of Svensson. Big kick upfield. It's towards nobody. You know, it's just a big lump upfield. But sometimes that's what you've got to do. Torre's cross comes in. Tonino flicks the head on to Barisic. Now Markovic. Right-hand side is Pete if he wants to go for a run. It has managed to find its way to Pete. 2, 3, 4 in the box. He's found Oscar Orlando Meyer for his first ever goal, I believe. His first ever goal, at least for Esbjerg. It is 3-1. And we have hopefully secured the 3 points here. And I need to see what's going on at AGF. I think it's AGF is where Copenhagen are playing. Or we're going to see more highlights from this game, I guess. If it goes 3-2... I'm going to get a little bit nervy. If it goes 4-1, I think we're safe to say we're going to be winning this game. We've still got 3.5 minutes, so there is a potential for 2 more goals here. Ollie Semmer with it, plays it back to Pitts. Now Junior and Duca. Goes for a little wander forward, takes his time, good. Meyer loses out, not what we want to see. Wolf to Prip, he's in on goal, across to Nordli. Nordli doesn't need to do a huge amount there to pop that ball in. It is 3-2. We're just going to go defensive, I think. We're just going to try and hold on. I very rarely change the mentality. I just leave it on what it is. But we're going to have to try and stop Randers from, I guess, having the ball. It's probably what we want to try. Barisic to Pete on the right-hand side. We've got plenty of numbers in the middle. Pete stops and spins, crosses it in. It is Tonino to blast the ball into the back of the net. This game has come alive since the 88th minute. And we've suddenly, had 3 goals in the last, 10 minutes of the match? That's a bit nuts. It's 4-2. And it stays 4-2. This was weird, wasn't it? A lot went on towards the end of the game. 3 goals technically, after the 90 minutes. Fair enough. But I think, annoyingly, Copenhagen did win their game. Looking at the league table, yes, they did. It was only 2-1. And frustratingly, it's this man. It was Watana, the Thai defender, midfielder, whatever he was going to be. He would have been a centre-back for me, I think. Although, he's ridiculous as a central midfielder. A player that I wanted to sign who scored the winning goal. It's still all to play for. Match number 2 then of potentially 4 in this episode. We've gone through a few changes. Olisema has come in for Rubio because of fitness. Rubio's still fine to play, but I'm thinking we probably don't even risk him for this one because we do have to play Copenhagen twice in the next 2 matches. So I'd rather have him fit for both of those. It is also, Babu has come in central midfield. Pete is also coming in on the left-hand side for Gelabert, who I'm not sure, actually. Maybe we just do that. Maybe we do that. That makes a lot more sense. Gelabert starts, Pete on the right-hand side. Pete's still getting a start because he played bloody well last time around. Obviously, our form is 5 out of 5 or 6 out of 6. It actually might be even more than that. Brøndby are somewhat all over the place, which is maybe not a good thing because we can't really predict. They're not on good form. They're not necessarily on bad form. Copenhagen, obviously, still top of the table. I think they might be playing Viborg. I believe they're playing Viborg. Again, I probably should know this. We'll just keep an eye on the league table on the right-hand side and see whether they've taken the lead. Whoever they're playing against, they've already taken the lead. Marvellous. And we're 1-0 down. Even better. This is genuinely a must-win game. This one here, if we lose this, we're out, right? We are completely out because there are 2 league games left to play. This is one of them. If we lose here, there is 5 points between us and Copenhagen, and we literally cannot catch them. So we need to win this. Pete with the ball, 22 minutes. Pete to Mossen on the right-hand side. 4 maybe in the box. Meyer to Babu. Ball forward to Gelabert on the volley. Tucks the ball away. Flag goes up. We're getting more VAR. Please, VAR, be on our side. I think he was offside, to be honest. It's disallowed. He was offside. It is still 1-0 to Brøndby. Even though we're losing our game here, I'm constantly just flicking my eye over to the league table to see if Copenhagen drop down to 69 points. They're 2-0 up against Randers. Okay, right, we have to assume Copenhagen are going to win that game, which means we must win this match. There is no 2 ways about it. We must win this game. I've kind of given them a shouty team talk. We've shouted at them. It's kind of worked. We're sticking with the same team. And I mean, we're doing nothing. We've had 1 shot and it wasn't on target. This is like the complete opposite of the Randers game. Nothing's happening. Absolutely nothing is happening. Pete's on... Pete, I made you start because you played so well in the last one, and you're on a 6.2. A 6.2 is awful. Tanino's going to come off as well for Larson. We're going to do a whole bunch of changes, I think. Tan for Gercic on the left-hand side of defence. Do we do Gelabert as well for Montano? We do. We've got 20-odd minutes to score twice. And we've had 1 shot on target. We're not going to win this, and it's season over. It's another season where we are the bridesmaid. We're getting our shots away, but they're all garbage apparently. No highlights, absolutely no highlights. Last match took a good 10-15 minutes to actually play through. This one, 4 minutes. I can tell from the recording software, and that result has cost us the league title. That result has absolutely cost us the league title, and I think that's a fair response, isn't it? It's not. It's probably not a fair response. We might have just pissed everyone off before a cup final. Marvellous. And there's the confirmation that we did not want to see. A 2nd place finish. Copenhagen once again the champions. It is very, very difficult and very, very frustrating that we cannot get past Copenhagen. It's bordering annoying to the point of where I don't want to play Football Manager. Not even this save. Football Manager in general. Since we have finished in the top 6 of the Super League, we have finished 3rd, a fair distance off. We finished 4th, a fair distance off. We have finished 3rd, getting closer? Question mark. We have finished 2nd, 5 points off. 65 points would finish 2nd every single season, wouldn't it? It would have won it. It would have won it that year when we weren't in the group and when Copenhagen clearly were terrible. I don't know what happened to them at that point, but it's frustrating. Anyway, we now have to go play Copenhagen in a cup final. Marvellous. Right, this is nonsense. This is absolutely nonsense. The board are very disappointed with the club's vision progress. Challenge for the Superliga title. We failed. We failed in the penultimate game of the season. If we won against Brøndby, we wouldn't have failed. I mean, I feel like that's an impossible thing to achieve. Surely finishing 2nd on potentially 68 points, 2 points behind the title holders, the champions, how is that not challenging for the title? I don't know what is challenging for the title if this isn't it. Right then, for the cup final, we are going for a couple more changes because it's a cup final, and I'm hoping Copenhagen have gone, we don't want to win this, we're bored of winning this. Pitaluga in goal, making his first appearance of the season, is Angelini, a player who did play a few times before in previous seasons. He's not really a right back, but I quite like him. I think there's potential there, but he needs game time. And what better game time than a cup final? Rubio Jr. and Tan in defence, Maya, Gelabert and Tanino midfield. It's going to be is it Mamadou Gay? It's Mamadou Gay. He's going to be playing on the right-hand side. Pete is going to be on the left, and Barisic is going to be leading the line. He's annoyed because I threw a water bottle. Nope. You're annoyed because Bartol, stop it. Stop it, buddy. We clearly did challenge for the title. Right, looking at this starting 11 then, they're going for it. Cool. Just what we want to see. I was hoping that they'd be like, you know what, we don't want to. But no, they're definitely going for it in the final. So they want to win, I assume, the double. I can't imagine they're going to be winning the Champions League or Europa League or anything like that. So, 2 minutes in, already Copenhagen have themselves a highlight. Estevez on the right-hand side gets past his man with relative ease, crosses the ball in, headed down, Foman controls it, goes for goal. It's off for a corner. It's off for a corner. I think that actually hit Tan. I thought Pitts saved it, but no, I think it actually came off Tan instead. It's Rooney to take it. Crossed towards the middle. Pitts comes out, flaps for it. And Daniel Foman makes it 1-0 to Copenhagen. And I think we might be losing this one as well as the league title. Literally 2 or so minutes in and we're 1-0 down. And already a second highlight. And it seems to be going Copenhagen's way. They are just so much better than us. They are just so much better than us. Their worst player is arguably as good as our best player. This is the problem that we're having. This is... You know how everyone complains about like Rangers and Celtic dominating Scotland and PSG being so dominant in France and things like that, although not necessarily winning the league every year, they're just a very good team. This is the problem that we and every other team in Denmark are going to have. We just cannot compete with the money that Copenhagen seem to have. And they're just so much better than us. So much better than us. We're 10 minutes in, we're 2-0 down. Estevez with the ball for Copenhagen. We're, 18, 19 minutes in. We've still not managed to clear our lines. Johansson's effort goes over the bar. So far, we've had 0 shots. We've had 45% possession, which is about 10% less than what we normally get when we play matches. It's Rubio to Maya. Gelabert through to Barisic. Can Barisic score? Probably should. Grabara stops it, goes off for a corner. Our first shot on goal, we win a corner from it. Pete's going to take it then. We've got 3 in the middle, 5 maybe. Rubio's one of them. Doesn't even go for a header effort. And, okay, it's fallen to Pete. I thought there was going to be a free kick in the middle of that. Mamadou Gay blazes over the bar. Magical. Barisic is on a 6.0, which says to me that shot that he had just a minute ago would have been easier to score and he missed it. So, not ideal. Gay with the ball. Plays it off to Angelini on the right-hand side. The two... I was going to say debutants. They're not debutants, but they don't play too often. Maya to Pete, through to Tanino. His effort is blocked well, and Watana can go for a run forward. Jakob Brun Larsen. Now Foman, one of the goal scorers, Johansson. He's going to go for a run forward. Plays it on the ground. Goncalo Borges is there. It's 3-0. It's not even half-time. In a way, I'm kind of glad we lost to Brøndby, because I don't think I could have dealt with mentally having to play Copenhagen in the last game of the season and having to beat them to win the title. Because judging by how well we're playing here, we would have never done that, even if I saved and reloaded about 400 times. Copenhagen do have the ball inside their own penalty area, but it probably means they're just going to do a nice long build-up and have themselves a chance to make it 4-0 on the 48th minute. It's Borges on the ground, it's Foman, it is 4-0. About a minute later, we've got another highlight, so it's probably going to be 5. Yep, looks like it. Yep, it's 5. It's 5-0 after 50 minutes. This is a 9-0. If they keep scoring at this rate, we're losing 9-0 in a cup final. When I hit record earlier today, I was hoping that this episode we'd be winning the double. We've barely won 2 matches. In fact, we haven't won 2 matches, and I don't think we will win 2 matches. Right, we're going through and doing a bunch of changes. I would sub off anyone who's below a 6.5. But we can't do 10 subs. The only player who would stay on would be Pete somehow. Right, all of our changes then, just before the hour mark. Mossen, Gercic, Babu, Larsen and Maya coming on. Gay, Barisic, Angelini, Tanino and Tan coming off. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter what we do at this point, does it? We are so bad, and Copenhagen are so good in this match. We could score 4 goals, And obviously we're still going to lose because, well, we could probably score 10 goals and we'll still lose because they've probably got another 6 in them. Watana's ball forward, 68th minute. Borges controls it, just about keeps it in play as well. Goes for a little run in towards the middle. Foeman's on a hat-trick. Foeman's got a hat-trick. I think this is arguably our worst ever performance in charge of Esbjerg. And we've had some pretty poor performances in throughout this save. We've lost 6-0 in a cup final against the best team in Denmark by a fair distance, let's be honest. I'm not going to say that was a chance to win a trophy. That was not good enough. You were awful at football. You were absolutely awful at football. All of you. Every single one of you. Not one player came out of that looking good. Arguably Larson, Gerchich gets a 6.9. What did he do? I assume he didn't kick the ball. Maybe that's what he did. When you look at the end of this season, there are 2 results there that stand out. I mean, arguably 3 if you include the Bromby one. If we don't score, we don't win. It sounds really obvious, but if we don't score, we lose. If we don't score, we lose. We very rarely seem to have 0-0 draws. We've had 2, 3 0-0 draws maybe all season. But when we lose, we lose badly, don't we? We normally lose pretty badly. And we've lost 4 games all season. 4 games all season. Copenhagen have lost 3 games all season. And none of them have been in the championship group phase. Great. Right, we've got to go forward and play them once again in the league. I'm not going to bother putting you through that agony because it's going to be painful enough for me. Well, it was our 5th defeat of the season. It's understandable because when you look at the team that we actually played, we played all the children. The only established first-team players who were there was Pitts and Rubio and arguably Maya and maybe Larson. So, yeah, we played just a bunch of children. We lose 4-0 once again against Copenhagen. They win the league. We've been absolutely embarrassed right at the end of the season. We did so well until the last 2 matches of the league, or 3 matches if you want to include the cup final. It's not fun. It's not a fun experience at this point. And this right here, this is the problem. I mean, I completely understand financially we're not in a particularly great position, but a transfer budget of £1.3 million to compete with Copenhagen, who, let's put this into context, spent £16.5 million last season. Admittedly, they did bring in a lot of money, but every single season they have brought in at least one player who is more than our entire transfer budget. Every single season. In fact, every season they seem to have brought in at least 2. So this is the problem. They're able to bring in so many players better than our squad every single year, and we have £1.3 million to try and compete with this. And yes, we do have the option to possibly sell some of our better players, which we've done, and we still don't get the transfer budget. We've got 5 million in the bank. That's it, 5 million in the bank. It's not enough to compete with Copenhagen, and we're at that point in this save where if I continue, we're going to have 5 more seasons of this. That's what's going to happen. We've gone forward a few more days, getting to the end of season review. We'll take a quick look through what we've done then. Barisic arguably was our best signing this season. I say arguably, he was our best signing this season. Gelabert actually turned out good. I wasn't so sure when we brought him in, but 13 assists, 6 goals as well to his name. Pretty decent. Tenino coming in on loan basically didn't really cost us a lot of money, but a player that we know. Babu, one for the future. Maya, one for the future as well. But playing a decent amount of football between them as well. So I think we've had a season when it comes to transfers of bringing in not just players who can make an impact now, but ones who can kind of make us good in a few years or make us some money in a few years. That's kind of the intent. That's been my intent since season 1, really. I want to buy good young players who we can sell for lots of money and then eventually reinvest that money to buy good 25-year-olds, basically. We've not been able to do that second bit just yet. And this makes it even harder reading to see that we didn't win the league from winning the initial stage. From winning the start stage to then losing on the penultimate game of the season to drop down to second place. It's frustrating. It is really frustrating. And the board is just like, yeah, whatever. C plus, finishing second. Just, 5 points technically behind the league leaders in the end, but still. And the Conference League, we got knocked out by I think that's Red Star, isn't it? So, yeah, wasn't ideal. Board weren't too pleased with that. And then in the Cup, we lost in the final. Let's not mention that again. Not that I want to go over finances again like I've just done a minute ago in the video, but there's some numbers for you. Everything's going up, which is good, but it's not going up enough. I think that's the problem. It's not going up enough. Not going up quick enough for me. Team of the season is pretty self-explanatory, I think. So yeah, we've got, I guess the only one who maybe shouldn't be there is Babu, although he did play 29 games in the end, so maybe he should be there. Rubio, it says 17 games. Definitely played more than that because we sold him halfway through the season. So 7 seasons in, this is our overall best 11 in the 7 seasons. And for the most part, it's quite similar to what I would expect. Emil Holton, I'm not so sure on. I'm not so certain on that one, because yes, he had a couple of good seasons. He had a good season there. He wasn't very good anywhere else, was he? I'd argue put Meyer up there and put Pete on the wing, but whatever. Now, to round out this episode and this season, I'm going to show you the transfers that we've got planned for next season. Bear in mind, these were brought in before we had a transfer budget, so all of them, I think, maybe, some of them we might be paying for, we're getting on for cheap deals. They're all for free. Okay, we've seen Barnabas before. He's going to join in the summer. Barnabas is finally joining. I'll show you him again. He's from Micronesia. It's just funny that he's from Micronesia, okay? We are getting in. We'll take a look at Jean Carlos Colorado first, who, he's not a right back. He's a central midfielder. He's coming in from AAB. I think he's going to be a very good player. He's a nice, well-rounded player, and he's experienced. 28 years of age, 225 league appearances in Denmark. So I think he's going to be a good signing. This one was very interesting to me because I wasn't sure we'd be able to bring him in. We've needed a left back for a few seasons, a decent left back. Pelamati, we're bringing him in on a free transfer, formerly of Inter Milan and Arsenal. I think Arsenal paid a lot of money for him as well, £6.5 million. Played him once, loaned him out to PAOK, who played him 3 times, and then he's not played for 2 years. We're getting him in on a free transfer. I think he could be a game changer. And finally, our new number 1 goalkeeper is Otto Hindrich. I think Otto's good. Am I just conning myself into thinking he's good? But I genuinely think Otto is much better than Pitaluga. He's got 258 games to his name as well. He's only 26, will be 27-ish by the time he joins. So he's kind of in the prime of his life for a goalkeeper. I'm liking Hindrich. And then obviously as well, we've now got this £1.3 million to potentially spend. We've got clauses to sell. We can get £11.5 million from that. Maybe this is what we do. I mean, the Collins Dladla one, we get 169,000. Are you out of contract soon? No. Is there any other big ones we can get in? Sam Patricola, £1 million for that, and not a lot. So it's only Tinder Beer, £11.5 million. Or we can see what happens in the summer, because he's playing now. He's actually playing for PSG. That's why the money's going up. If they potentially look at selling him, then we're laughing. Anyway, that is going to do it for this season and this episode and all of that nice, cool, fun, fancy stuff. It's probably a very long one. Apologies, but if you did stick around, do please leave a like, stick a comment down in the comment section below. Subscribe as well if you're not subscribed. I'll be back next time, hopefully, with Season 8 with Esbjerg, but I've got plans in the future for other saves as well that I want to try and do. Maybe try and mix it up as we head into FM24. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.